You know what time it is.
What's up, beer people?
If you heard it on the hashtag beer time, it's true.
It must be true.
It's true. It is fact. Please, won't you name one of your beers cart horse?
And just do something terrible. Just brew shit beer.
Stick your finger in there every now and again.
Stir it with the sock.
Every show, it feels like my first show.
Every show is a new adventure.
We're having some good conversation here, Mr. Troy.
Did I make sense there? I think I did.
I love them all.
Are we off air?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Hashtag Beer Time with me, T-Bone Troy. This episode is called Beer for Dummies, and I thought it was quite appropriate as I had my good buddy Roscoe join me on the show. Roscoe is the director of Brewing the Republic, a documentary on craft beer in South Africa. We got to try some really cool beers. One of them was from Mikkeller, South Africa, and the other two were from Stone Brewing in Berlin. Roscoe asked some questions. I did my best to answer them, and we actually had a really cool show, chatted about our documentary, chatted about some festivals and events coming up. We also chatted about West Coast IPAs, where the name comes from, what it means. We chatted about alcohol in beer and the different styles. Does it matter? And really got to have a good time on the show, and I'm sure you guys will enjoy it. So please, as always, let me know what you think. Cheers.
Just let it go.
No, can you hear me now? Is that better? Hello?
There we go. Just introduce yourself. Who are you?
I'm Roscoe. Yay, I'm back. Almost not with the stupid microphone.
Yes, almost not. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Roscoe. I would say we're friends, but he's more of an acquaintance, and he is
Best acquaintance ever.
He is, yeah. We're Facebook friends, but
It's official.
It's good to have him on the show again. He is from the KZN area, so apologies to most folks, but he is in Cape Town for the week, so we thought, why not have him on the show?
The best of times.
Roscoe, welcome, and we are going to be drinking beer, which I'm sure you are very excited about. Let's turn our music off.
It's called a chubby for a reason.
Let's drink some beer. I think we need to just warm up, although you don't seem like you need to warm up with anything. We've got a show lined up where we're going to talk about a few events, talk about what's happening in the beer scene, but also the main lineup is to talk about two awesome beers that my wife brought back from Germany. Have you heard of Stone Brewing Company?
I actually have, just amongst my travels, I've heard of them.
Your sojourns overseas.
Hashtag Roscoe Broad Times.
Sure, Roscoe's Travels. No, they're a brewery from the States. I think they were established in 1996. They're from California. And I think it was last year where they started producing beer in their Berlin brewery. So that was obviously a totally different angle. They didn't start a second brewery in the States. They started one in Europe, which was quite interesting. So my wife was a darling, and she brought us back some beers. Two beers from the brewery.
Best.
She is the best, which I'm very excited to get into. But they're quite intense beers. They've got a goblin and a demon on it, and I think they're there for a reason. But what I wanted to, before we get into those, we're going to start off very easy with a very delicious beer, and you must tell me if you've had it. And we must just watch out for any of our friends, because there are a lot of friends listening.
Oh, I've got too many friends. Like the exact number of 2.
Great joke. That was hilarious.
I keep myself entertained at night.
So you'll forgive me, I just need to unpack, because obviously I rushed into the studio and things weren't happening, so I needed to reset. Don't you just hate it when you have to reset a computer and it just takes way longer than...
I can tell you one thing, is the worst thing you can ever get is the circle of death on a Mac computer.
When it's a Mac, whether it's a Windows...
Oh, just the stupid technology. You've got to love it. But
the year is 2018. We should have evolved from the spinning
I should
wheel
have
of
a
death.
computer in my brain now just to do things and print out my mouth.
Roscoe, I'll be
USB
thinking...
app, my brother.
Jesus, let's just drink this beer. This is from Devil's Peak. It's a Peter, Pale and Mary. Sorry, it's not from... Well, it's made at Devil's Peak, but it's from Mikkeller Brewing Company, which is...
Scotland, isn't it?
No, do you want to have another guess?
I'm going to throw another guess. Mikkeller.
D.
Denmark.
Ah, look at you. So...
I'm very good with the D.
This is a very popular and well-known brewery. They're pretty much everywhere over the UK in terms of what I've seen in my travels, but they're quite synonymous with their artwork. I don't know. Do you recognise that? I'm not going to let you touch the can.
Why can't I touch it, Troy? Let me touch it.
Oh,
How's that?
jealous. Right. Ooh,
It's getting excited there.
ooh, ooh, very exciting.
I'm literally getting goosebumps just hearing this.
This is a folk pale ale. Ooh, it's going to be very fruity and hoppy, and yeah. So we've got Mikkeller in the country, which is great.
Now can I touch the can?
Now you can touch the empty can. I'll have the. Just be careful, will you?
No
Would
worries.
you like a coaster? Let me get you a coaster because.
I'll get a coaster because I'm a responsible.
Responsible Wally.
Irresponsible. I quite like this.
So the coaster, we need to keep the studio clean. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's beer time. Cheers, Mr. Roscoe.
Cheers.
Good
Thank
to
you,
have
sir.
you in Cape Town.
Stoked to be back.
You just go straight for the sip. I'm going to observe it a little bit more. Nice orange color, a little bit hazy. Do you know why it's hazy?
I don't know. What is it?
I'm going to guess that it's from the dry hopping. So a good brewery will have a very crystal... Okay, I'm going to speak very generally now, but 9 times out of 10, if the beer looks clear and it's crystal clear, it's filtered, it's got... You know, they've filtered it, which means that they kind of know what they're doing. Again, a lot of the purists might even scold me for this, but when you dry hop, you don't want to filter because you're taking out a lot of the flavor and aroma from adding those hops into the secondary fermentation or later on after fermentation. So that's why it's a little bit hazy.
Because I'm used to only the Weiss being really old.
So now a Weiss beer is going to be a lot cloudier than this. This has got like 90% clarity. So I'm expecting very hoppy flavor and floral notes on the nose.
Well,
What do you smell?
I was going to say, you are very good at this. You should have a show or something.
I think we're live. Let me just check.
No, it tastes bloody good, hey? It's a pale ale, they say. But yes,
See.
it's not anything pale on the tongue, that's for sure.
Let's go back. I think we're live. Yeah, we are live.
No, I must say, this is a delightful
Okay, I'm going to have a sip.
You must. Let it dance on your palate there.
So just read the back there. What's the alcohol?
The alcohol is 4.6 alcohol, volume, 440 ml can. It's a delicious beer, best served at 6 to 9 degrees.
So there was a bit of debate on one of our WhatsApp groups in terms of how low should this alcohol be in terms of a pale ale, especially an American pale ale. You know, you expect these kind of beer styles to be from 5 to 5.5. So this one's quite on the low end of the scale in terms of what is acceptable for the style. I think the lowest you can have for the style is 4.5. I'm just quickly finding my
So, Troy,
style guidelines. Yes.
for a naive man like myself and other listeners,
Yes.
probably like my two friends,
Yes.
why is there such a big difference for alcohol? Like, why is there a relevance for the alcohol percentage for a pale ale and for an IPA and for a lager and all that kind of stuff? Why can't you have a lager that is 2% or a pale ale that is 1.5%?
You can, but there's special guidelines out there that differentiates not just alcohol, but a whole range of different things. So you could have your different levels of bitterness, different levels of malt, sweetness, hoppiness. That's all these things. That's it's like different ingredients in a recipe. Sometimes you're going to have a very hoppy beer. Sometimes you're going to have a very high alcohol beer, and depending on the ingredients and the result that you get from making a beer, you're going to have a certain style. So, to answer your question, it's just they've just kind of separated and categorized it as in terms of what should kind of be.
Okay.
It's not like the commandments. This is what it shall be. I mean, if you're gonna, I'm just trying to find you. If you make a 10% pale ale.
Yeah, now we're talking.
If you make a 10% pale ale, you'll get a lot of people saying, okay, wait, that's not really a pale ale, because when they think of pale ale, they think sessionable, hoppy, slightly bitter, thirst quenching beer. 10% is not thirst quenching.
Only for the strong.
Only if you're from KZN, hey?
If you're from KZN and you can drink cities dry.
Touchy.
Is it a bit touchy?
Yeah, it's a bit
Too soon.
Too soon. So a 10% pale ale would be more like an imperial pale ale or an IPA. So it's.
But if you brew one.
If you do make a 10% pale ale.
Yes. Then is it frowned upon?
No, I think you would actually have to be calling it an imperial pale ale. There's specific guidelines, or you would have to call it an IPA. I'm just I stand to be corrected. You're gonna, if you have very little hops, and it's a high alcohol beer, then you can either call it a really hopless IPA or a very alcoholic pale ale. Either way, they don't fall within the Beer Judge Certificate Program guidelines. We can take it on the other end of the scale. If you have a 2% IPA, that then people just call it a sessionable IPA.
Okay.
There's no guideline there's no style in our guideline for a sessionable IPA, but doesn't mean you can't make it. So. Does that kind of answer your question on the different alcohols in beer?
No, it does, because the thing is, for me...
You weren't listening, were you?
I was actually daydreaming.
An American pale ale is I was right. It's anything from 4.5% to 6.2. So the minute you start going below that or above it, then you...
So is it deemed something else?
Let's just put it this way. If you entered it into a competition, you'd be marked down.
Okay.
If you were selling tens and thousands of these beers, you called it a pale ale, and it was 3%, and you were selling a lot of it, then who cares? I guess.
So I'm going to go in with a bit of a, not a morbid, but like a negative train of thought here.
Okay.
Because we all know that in this country, you get taxed on your alcohol. So what if you go out there and you make a 3% beer, you prove it to the SARS ban, but then you can't advertise it as a 4.5?
I don't know if you can do that, because they will... No, because that's an infringement on your advertising standards. I think you can't... It's like saying... It's like any food category. What you put it into the beer, you can't do that. It's like, there's that stamp on some products, the European standards, that say what you put into your product, it has to reflect in the final product. You can't say something and then put something else in. What
if you did some stupid fine print writing and said it could be 4.5, but it's actually...
No, you could have an approximate alcohol percentage. Like, let's say you don't have the scientific equipment and it's around 4.5, but it's actually 4.3. That you could maybe get away with.
That's fine.
But again, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not a lawyer. I don't pretend to be one. Just giving some opinions on beer. But yeah, if you make a 3% alcohol beer and you sell it as a 4.5%, that's going to come back and bite you in the bum from the consumer.
Okay.
There's going to be rioting. They're going to be pushing down walls in your brewery.
I'll be the first.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Are you enjoying the show? It's hashtag beer time. We are drinking the McKellar's Pizza Pale and Mary. Now, McKellar is a European brewery, and they've just arrived. Well, I mean, I say just, but they've been in the country for about a year now. I stand to be corrected, but they are brewing their beer at Devil's Peak Brewing Company, and this is a delicious pale ale.
It is bloody good.
Are you happy?
Yo. My pants are tight. That's what I can say.
Well, Roscoe, your analogies and descriptions of beer are really appreciated on the beer show.
That's why I'm allowed on this one. And not
Why
anything
are
else.
you... Tell the good people. We've only got an hour, but tell the good people... Not an hour for you to describe this. Tell the good people why are you in Cape Town? What's the vibe?
So, why I'm down from KZN, I have been recalled to do some more filming to finish our documentary. Been filming since, I think, August last year. Mm-hmm. We've been filming all the breweries in South Africa.
This is, of course, Brewing the Republic documentary.
The documentary is called Brewing the Republic. And what we've done is we've traveled the country, gone to over 40 breweries and visited all the provinces and ensured that every single person can be educated about the status, about the process, and about promoting craft beer in this country. So it's a big project.
I need to write that down.
No, so that's what we're doing. We're basically trying to create a very cinematic viewpoint on what we've done in the industry in South Africa. And the problems with it is, although we've gone all out for it, filming with all kinds of toys, whether it be drones, Ronins, multiple cameras being utilized, the GoPros being thrown into the brew houses whilst it's brewing, that kind of thing.
Nice.
We've gone all out to make sure that we've got some epic footage. But
Didn't we tie it to the grain harvester?
yes, we did.
How did that look?
It actually looks awesome. I was looking at it yesterday.
Because there was a scare that it might fall into the combine harvester. And
You think you scared it?
Yeah.
I was crying inside.
yeah, it's easy when it's just
Yeah.
not your equipment.
Yeah.
Hey, Roscoe, let's do this.
Yeah, let's just throw it in there. That's fun. No, it looks good though.
Okay,
I won't
good.
lie.
Yeah,
But
no, we've from what I've seen from the footage that you've shown me so far, the photography looks great.
Yeah.
Is that the right word?
Cinematography.
The cinematography looks great. Yeah, and it's what's great is that we've got about just over 40 brewers from around the country, and it's quite a eclectic or a vast-ranging demographic
Yes.
of the people that we've included. We've included the man and his dog. We've included the scientific brewmaster. We've included the homemade brewing system. We've included the
Yeah.
imported Rolls-Royce equipment. So it's a cross-section of
mean-
where we are at the moment in this country.
in this first episode that we're just sort of finalizing is that we even have some guys talking about brewing on not such fancy equipment. Oaks are saying, like, you know, to be a true craft brewer, you need to know how to use the equipment that isn't, you know, so fancy and so like imported from overseas, like glycol, like bloody jacketed and stuff like that. To understand how the beer works and the science behind beer, it's like understanding the weather patterns that you live in. And there he is. I wish I could burp whilst I was talking. That would be a talent.
I don't know what you're talking about.
But from the reason why I'm here now is that, for instance, we've had a couple of breweries who've just said some epic things. They've just said such great golden nuggets in what they've said that we unfortunately haven't been able to film in our sort of 7-month journey of filming. So I've had to come back now and then just do certain filming aspects of it. So, for instance, we have people talking about tax and the tax of beer. Hence why I'm talking about the alcohol and taxation of it. So, unfortunately, we got over boisterous with regards to filming just the brewing process and the malts and the deliveries and distribution. We forgot the back end of what happens, the sales, and we forgot about the tax that comes with it and the SARS. And we were lucky enough to be at a brewery when SARS was there and actually doing their bit to do the tax correction for that brewery. But unfortunately for the person that was speaking about it, we needed just to see the simple things such as the filing and what they're using in order to make all the detailed descriptions of it.
So it sounds like you're covering all aspects
Yes.
of our Brewing Republic, of what's going on in and around. So, I mean, it's a very exciting time, obviously, to be involved in the craft beer industry. I should probably ask you this off air, but how are things going? How are things going your side? They're good, my side?
No, it's good. It's look, the editing. I mean, we were quite. I think we.
How many? Just tell the audience how many gigs of footage do you have, or how much did you capture?
It's
It's a lot.
It's a lot. It's about just gigs with. It's 11,000 gigs.
11,000 gigs.
Yes.
So that's
Like think about
Trying
your
to- I'm
2
trying
terabyte hard drives times that by 6.
wow.
Yeah. No, sorry, my maths is terrible. Is it terrible?
A terabyte is 1,000,
No, 2 terabyte gig, hard drive. if it's
but
a
1,000 1 terabyte
It's
is
1,000
is
gigs.
1,000
So you need
gigs.
11 of those.
11 of those.
Yeah.
No, that's just stupid.
Look, it's emotional.
That is emotional.
No, look, like it's.
And you got to back that shit up.
Yes, you do. Yeah. So we've been working off that, but what we've been doing is rather than deleting everything, we've been putting everything to one side and keeping what we feel is the best. And thank the Pope we've done it, because even yesterday when I was in the post-production studio, we were just. I remember sitting there. I'm like, I know I shot this shot.
Yes.
And then she went into that category of shots, and then she rediscovered a whole bunch of things. And yeah, we've just been putting in all the different creative stuff for the edit.
And I'm sure people are wanting to know when they can watch it, because yeah, they're excited. Can you give them an approximate date?
The approximate date, I mean, I remember saying last year we wanted it to be ready by the end of March. But due to just complications in the post-production stuff, due to like having
It takes a long time to edit.
It does, and it's taken her about 4 months just to get the storyline sorted,
Yes.
which is good. At least we've got that sorted, and now people know. Now we know what we got. We're just making sure we're making it look good,
Yeah.
and we're making sure it comes across, like a good documentary should be. It's something that's
Can't just have you
seamless.
drinking beer
No.
for 3
You
hours.
can't just listen to me describing what's happening in my pants.
Your poor brewery, your poor marketing for your brewery. Okay, thank goodness I've got some say in the marketing for this documentary. Okay,
But-
cool. Well,
So the question is, Troy. and
Yes,
I'm gonna throw
Roscoe.
it back at you.
yeah,
is,
hot it, yeah.
How are we going to look with regards to the distribution of this?
Yes, that's something exciting and something I've actually been researching. But it's a whole nother ballgame, just in terms of where you want to distribute. But it feels like there's a movement, obviously, towards online networks, Netflix, Showmax. That's where the people are hungry. Well, those companies are hungry for content, and I think from our circle of friends, there's a movement towards that. So,
Especially with the cities like Joburg and Cape Town
Yeah.
and parts of Durban, with all this fibre being thrown out, the rollout of it is just amazing. But problem for people like moi,
geez, I got shut down my internet, my bundle. I have 50 gigs per month, and it clapped
That-
out like 2 days ago.
50 gigs is nothing, my man. You need to get 200 at least.
No, we still have one. Although the missus just goes on Instagram now and just like. Watch videos. Let's move ahead. Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to Hashtag Beer Time. We are drinking beer in the studio. We've just finished with a Peter Pale and Mary from McKellar.
Yay!
A delicious folk pale ale. It was awesome. And now we're moving on to the featured beer of the show. It is from Stone Brewing Company. This was made at their Berlin branch brewery, if I can say that. This is their Stone IPA, the iconic West Coast style IPA. It's sitting at 6.9%. Now, it's all in German, so I'm not going to try and read that. But, Roscoe, don't be a dick. Do you know what a West Coast style IPA is?
Okay, I'm going to throw it out there.
I'm putting you on the spot, but
It's fine.
this is
I like
fine.
that. So West Coast.
Just hold on. Wait.
Sorry. Pizza.
Go for it.
Sorry, I'm just watching that beautiful beer being poured. Okay, West Coast. I am guessing it was brewed on the West Coast,
Of?
America.
Yes.
Nailed it. So, West Coast IPA.
What else does that tell you?
From what I've gathered, just from my brief knowledge of beer,
Yes.
brewery
Yes.
recipes,
Yes.
they use a lot of hops.
Okay.
Like,
what type of hops?
when I'm saying a lot, I'm talking about, we're talking about tens of kilograms of hops.
Sure. What happens
Even
if it's
close to
a
100.
What happens if it's a 1 liter batch?
They still use
It's just
it.
going to be hops.
That's what
it's
I-
going to be wet hops.
From what I understand, especially with Stone Brewing, they just don't care if it's 1 liter. They just go.
Anything else?
What kind of hops? Calypso. Just throwing it out there.
Calypso's an ice cream, isn't it?
Maybe. It looks like a Calypso.
Paola. Okay.
Okay, what?
You were 50% there. You are half right, which is a pass.
That is, I like.
That's a pass.
That's how I was
Let
allowed
me yeah, exactly. Let me just correct you there. So West Coast IPA, yes, West Coast of America, USA.
Yay!
And when you said they add a lot of hops, that's not West Coast. That's more to the style of American IPA. You get American IPA and you get an English IPA.
Okay.
American IPA is known for adding more hops. It's got more of a hit of hoppy note.
More points for Oscar.
Yes, hoppy notes on the nose. West Coast, meaning they've used hops from that area. And usually what you find with the West Coast style is that it's got a lot of Cascade, Centennial, those types of hops, citrus up until recently. But that's very piney and
Sorry,
you've got a question. Yes, you in the front row.
I'm going to interrupt you here. Isn't it like hops is all grown in Oregon in that state?
Yes.
So surely
Not all hops.
Where else do they grow hops in the
I'm
states?
sure they grow it in...
Is it not like South Africa
Midwest.
where they can only grow in George?
No. They grow in Colorado and... God, someone's going to say, no, I don't. I'm pretty sure they...
Was that your American accent?
They... Yes, they do. They America! Oh,
It smells beautiful.
cheers. Okay, what are you smelling? Let's move swiftly along. I'm getting a bit of a melon.
I think my nose hairs is clogging my nose up.
Sure, there's very how to put it, very dank. It has a bit of level of dankness, but it's also got a.
I don't
it's
think
got
it's
a bit,
everyone's beer.
It's got a bit of a murky hoppiness to it. That's kind of says to me that it's not that fresh. I'm just looking at the date here. It's best before the 25th of March. So when was it made? It was probably made in this. It's got your 28th of December. So look, it's still fresh. But yeah, it's got more of an emphasis towards the malt. It's got a bit of sweetness. So this is an IPA. This is a classic IPA.
I'm just looking at it. I'm just like
6.9%, eh? So can you taste that alcohol? That alcohol definitely contributes to the perceived bitterness, I find,
yes.
because it does have a. Well, in actual fact, the bitterness almost covers up the maltiness almost covers up the sweetness covers up the alcohol and hides it a bit.
I was expecting a lot more.
They all work together. It's a well-balanced beer. That's the word I'm trying to use. Don't smell the microphone.
I'm smelling the beer in the microphone.
Delicious.
Am I right in saying that you're not getting as much of a smell like as you'd expect it to?
No, you're right. It should be a little bit more, but
Like I'm doing the classic technique
it's
of
actually
putting
I find it's got a little bit of alcohol, so it's quite a high alcohol IPA. The limit for an American IPA is 7.5%. So this is 6.9. So it falls within the range. Look,
I will drink it.
We'll drink it. It's delicious, but it's not. I think what we're both going to agree on is that it's not knocking our socks off.
It's not living up to the expectation.
Maybe it just hasn't travelled well.
Let me see the can, please.
Yes, you may see it.
Thank
can.
you very
Pleasure.
much.
Look, it's still an amazing beer compared to the beer that's out there,
We've
the
had
IPAs.
worse.
We've had that's an unfair statement, but this is definitely an amazing IPA. Is it the?
It's written here. Den frischen Geschmack an die brachwürstlichen Aromen, die besten Genieben, zoeken. Trink dieses Bier, das besom mindestens an. That's why it is like that.
Jy moenie 'n dik wees nie. I forgot what language I was going to speak, but I just went for it. I like how they've said here, Bieren setzen der new Matzbeer in die rasant waschen der craft beer fans. I love it.
That's the best.
Roscoe, let's talk about some other stuff. Who's that? What's that?
The league.
Are the league listening?
Let me quickly ask them.
This is an old rugby group on WhatsApp listening. That's great. It's good to know that you've got their support.
Yay!
I do want to chat about some upcoming events, which I think the people would like to hear about. They've heard about the Fools and Fans Festival, which is the second year that it's happening in Greyton, and that's on the 7th of April. And like I said, it's the second year that's going to be running, and we're going to have about 15 breweries from around the area. We're also going to have there are a few guests from inland and upcountry and just kind of small breweries that's, fit the small artisan kind of scale. So that's going to be a whole huge event. I mean, we're looking forward to it. And if you haven't got your tickets yet, your early bird tickets, you have up until tomorrow night, which is the 31st tomorrow night. 31st tomorrow, and tomorrow night the early bird tickets stop. So if you are keen on joining us this year for the second Fools and Fans Festival in Greyton, please make sure you get your tickets at Quicket. Get your tickets at Quicket, and you'll get the early bird special. Roscoe, will you be joining us? You were there last year.
I was there last year, and it was actually very awesome. I enjoyed being there. It was like for not the right.
I remember you had just finished the first leg of Brew in the Republic. You were on the way back down from the coast.
Been filming for about 3 to 4 weeks.
And you rocked up.
And I was filming, and it was an intimate festival.
Where did you stay again? Did you stay with us?
I stayed with you, yes.
Not with me in my bed, but you stayed.
In your bed. You didn't realize that wetness on your big toes from moi. From yours truly.
I'm going to say that wetness was from the beer that you brought to the bed. Let's just keep it clean here. This is a beer show. But yeah, so
But-
you had a good year last year.
No, what I can say is just from being
had
an
about-
outsider,
We had just over, I think we had 300 to 400 people attending.
it was
For
awesome.
the first event, that is
was-
amazing.
The nice thing about it is that with Greyton, I'd never been to Greyton, and I was just like, this little quaint little town was an awesome location for it. And I mean, there was like a little food market there. You went in the morning, had a couple of snacks, and then you went through to the beer fest. And then at the beer fest, you could choose to go and have a talk with some of like Beer Country and all those guys to learn how to do some beer food pairing. Then you just went around tasting the different brewers. Like you said, there was between like what 10 and 15 breweries, all craft breweries from around the jaw, and it was just a great little day out. And there was guys, musicians playing.
There was an Afrikaans reggae band. I forgot what they were called, but they were an Afrikaans
They
reggae
were-
band. It was.
They were awesome. It was such a gift day out.
They
And
actually got the show started.
yeah, that they did.
Besides you,
Well, look, I was just tempted to take my shirt off.
You were
but
just
I don't
there.
think a lot of people wanted to see that. But some do. But it's only a few.
Roscoe, people paid money to be there, not to see that kind of stuff. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, you have up until tomorrow night to go get your early bird tickets for the Fools and Fans Festival. Happening the 7th of April. That's Saturday, the 7th of April in Greyton. We've booked our accommodation. That's going to be fun.
Good times.
We're going to have a good time. And I think we're going to have, there's going to be quite a few more events. I think there's a Brewers Braai on Friday. We're going to have an after party braai on the Saturday evening.
That's like
No, it's going to be
That's awesome.
it's going to be a lekker time. So guys, make sure you get your tickets, and we'll keep chatting about that later. If you want more information, just check out Facebook.
Yeah.
Type in Fools and Fans.
Do you know what else is a good vibe this year? Super Rugby. And you know where I'm going with
I
this.
know where you're going.
You know where I'm going with
I was
this.
trying to avoid it the whole
But
show.
it's the best, because that's another reason why I'm down here. Because it's
draft day. You've got your draft day now.
Ooh.
I've spoken about this before on the show, but
not
last
enough.
year with Super Rugby, and it's the whole fantasy rugby league. I feel like I feel like a weight has been lifted
No.
since I left the group.
You have lost out.
I've been so productive.
No.
My revenue has jumped 3 times.
How? You must have lost revenue.
No, I'm more focused. I'm healthier. I have spent more quality time with my partner. There's just.
Can I tell you what?
it's-
After the reigning champs of Creel's Peels from
Yes.
last year, pulling it out of the sock,
Yes.
Gobby's sock, he's just been able to win.
He beat me in the final. That was just.
That is a well-deserved final that you lost.
It was. He needed the rugby guys to deliver for him, and they delivered.
In the form of Damien McKenzie. Look,
Yes, Roscoe.
that was 2017. 2018 promises to be even a bigger year.
How do you feel about 2018 in the rugby league?
Ooh, I feel so confident. I've got strategies coming up. I'm aiming to make sure that one man and one man only becomes the Sacco this year. And his name is Duffy Dogs.
Isn't it the Chinese year of the dog?
It's supposed to be, but that's why we're going for it, to make sure that he becomes the Chinese dog of the Sacco.
Okay, so everyone's gunning for Daffy Dog to be Sacco. What is Sacco?
Sacco is when you come last and you get a very specific punishment. And this year there's quite a few
Suggestions. What were previous? Just tell the people what was previous year's suggestions.
Okay, so previous year suggestions. Well,
Bearing in mind that
previous punishments.
you've lost.
I've lost. I was
The
a
point of
very-
this competition is not to win. The point is not to lose.
Look, you win with pride, but you lose with honor.
Do you keep your dignity?
No dignity. So the first ever punishment for Sacco was to shave your head like a monk. And
Who did that go to?
that went to yours truly, unfortunately.
Tisk.
And I had to shave my head like Friar Tuck the monk. And then I went to Synergy, and where I fell off a swing, and I kind of took out some hair locks, and I had like a C-shaped Friar Tuck. It was truly horrible. Anyway,
Anyway,
since
that's
then we've had
disgusting.
other guys in nappies going around the town.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they think that's the bachelors, but no, Then we had other guys dressed in lingerie holding up a sign saying they suck at fantasy rugby.
Yep, that was me.
Then we had a guy last year lose, and he's got Moist written on a number plate, and he drives it on his car.
Moist Western Province.
Moist dead end.
Yeah, that's not something you want to lose.
No, and he's got it for a whole year.
What's the punishment this year?
So this year we're looking and suggesting that maybe doing a back crack and sack wax with a 1,000 Scoville level tan session.
What's the Scoville tan?
I don't know. I just made up some terminology.
So a
for
high tan.
like the highest you can possibly get. Like remember that episode with Ross?
Where you went for the full
He
tan.
went for the full tan thing.
And what teeth whitening?
Exactly. So now the idea is to get this guy to get a back crack and sack and the tan session.
That's horrible.
That's amazing.
That's horrible. Okay, any other suggestions or ideas?
If you give me just a moment, I can quickly find out because the other option was...
Guys, believe it or not, you are listening to Hashtag Beer Time. We are talking...
Because we drink a lot of beer in the league.
Yeah, but you guys just drink your mainstream lager. It always upsets me when we go to the bar and they're like, oh, just give me whatever.
Just
Yeah.
give me a Castle Light, eh?
Just give me a beer, China.
Oh, it's like Castle Light's like the new craft, isn't it?
I hate it when Wesley asks me stupid questions. I hope he's listening.
Castle Light. Oh, there's like craft. No, it's amazing. Anyway, the other suggestion was to go on like the Oaks can like choose like a random Tinder date for the Oak, and he has to go and do that. But then there's quite a few wives on the group, and that didn't bode well.
Yeah,
I think I'm the only single one now.
yeah, that's not gonna. That wouldn't fly down. Right, guys,
Yeah.
it is. What's the time now? It's
It's good times.
It's 12:58. We've come a long way on the show. It's almost 1:00, and I think we should crack on with our last beer, which I'm very excited about. I don't know if you're excited. I'm very excited. This is also from Stone. It's their Arrogant Bastard Ale.
Ooh, I like that.
It's 7.2% alcohol, and at the bottom it just says, "You're not worthy." Well, okay. Oh, God damn it. It's got everything in German here. Just trying to read it. Well, all I can remember is that on the English can it says, you probably won't enjoy this beer. That's the opening line of describing the beer.
I like that.
How's that? Like, it also goes on to say, you're probably not worth it. You're probably better off drinking your mainstream lager. They go on, they actually rip into you by reading this label. So they're not holding back at anything. When I did some research on this, there's no classification in terms of what style it is. They say it's unclassified.
Let's check.
Oh, sorry, it's classified.
Or not off the candidates.
I'm gonna say I think it's like an IPA, but let's just crack it open. It is a 500 ml. Very excited about this. So this is 7.2%. The last one is 6.9.
Sure. That spray.
Ooh, it's got a very nice maltiness to it.
It even sounds dark.
It does have, now that I smell it, it does have a bit of like a chocolatey note.
Do you know what's that going through my head?
Oh, look there, look at that cascading effect.
Do you know what song's going through my head at the moment?
What song's going through your head at the moment?
Is this the real life? Is this just fantasy?
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry about this. I condone this kind of singing by Roscoe. God, you're embarrassing. I can't believe we're
Jeez,
friends.
that is a good smell.
The beer.
Sorry,
Good.
not the little fart.
Okay, so what do you smell in that?
They're even saying like sweet.
Yeah, it's like a caramel,
I'm just about to say caramel.
like a toffee. It's got a bit of a toffee sweet. You know where you...
Can they make a cologne out of this?
like a toffee sweet. Just buy the beer, I suppose, and put it in a spritzer.
And just, hello.
Yeah.
There, on the neck you go.
Roscoe, you got a bit of a rash on your neck. from all the bees and flies that have been attracted to it. So this is definitely like a
Sure.
chocolate toffee. Not a lot of hops coming through. So, I mean, it doesn't say there it's an IPA, but
I can safely say I could only have one of this. This is super strong.
I'm trying to think what else I'm getting here. It's what are those toffee sweets that you got on those old school toffee sweets
Man.
in the wrapper?
You get
The black ones.
Yes.
Race car or something like that. Google that.
Google. We're gonna have to make a Google song sound better than this.
It smells exactly like those black wrapper toffee sweets that you get sometimes at the restaurants or at your corner cafe. Like a slight licorice. Anyway, I'm going to have a sip.
Yeah. No, take a sip because it's magic.
Ooh. Definite high alcohol, a lot of sweetness, some bitterness, not a lot of hop aroma.
You don't want to see the most recently viewed things I've got on my thing here.
No, we don't. Ooh. No, this is tasty. This is really good.
I'm sorry, Roo. My research skills must be terrible because I'm getting.
It'll probably come to us right at the end.
I'm getting Sweet Temptations, not the Roscoe kind, the candy kind. How to make toffee, Amazon bestsellers, best toffee candy.
Cape Town toffee sweets. Google that. Anyway, I'm sure someone knows, but this is fantastic. This is delicious. This is yeah, it's not a session beer. You're gonna order one of these, then
if you got a
you order one of these. If you're drinking the whole day after a rugby game, you order this. It's home time afterwards.
Yeah.
It's, 7.2%. You can't. I mean, if you do want to order another one, go for it. But this is going to knock you back.
I can't remember. It just says Sweet Temptations and shit. Sorry. Yeah, look, this beer.
Very low in carbonation.
I dig
eh?
it. I like it, but I'm glad we're ending with it.
Come in.
Because it's definitely one that you can't just have a lot of.
So they were right. This is a beer you can't handle. It says here, you're not worthy. They must have made it for you.
I'm like trying to like man up here now and be like, yes, we're gonna have like more than 3 hours.
Whatever.
But I can tell you what, it's a good tasting beer. It's a different tasting beer. So if you're definitely gonna try and be adventurous and try and do like a palate tasting of a variety of things, this will be a great way to end a tasting platter with.
Do you know what I think makes this beer so successful is that it's got a bit of a legacy behind it. It's got a bit of a name. It's Arrogant Bastard Ale. And I think I stand to be corrected, as always on Hashtag Beer Time, I stand to be corrected that I think this was the first, or one of the first craft breweries that actually put on their can, like, you're not going to like this beer.
Yes,
They
I
had
remember
that
that.
reverse marketing,
Yes.
that reverse psychology, like saying, this beer is too strong, you're not going to like it, you're probably used to drinking the weak beers, don't buy this, don't waste our time.
I remember seeing an interview on YouTube or something with this guy, and he was like, yeah, because he was so arrogant about, his brewery being better than everyone else in the area, that he's like, well, I'm going to name my one beer, the Arrogant Bastard. Because someone called him an arrogant bastard. No, that's humor. I like that.
Do you make yourself?
He has my vote.
Do you make yourself laugh a lot?
You have no idea.
It must be lonely out there in the Midlands.
When you're out in the Midlands, it's pretty cool. When you have humor like myself, because you're never alone. But I am looking forward to the brewery that we're building. It is quite exciting. April 27th is the due date to
very. And we're going to come visit you.
Yes, you are.
In Moy, it's just by Moy River, huh?
It's just before Moy River. It's in
That's on the N3.
3, and then you take the Nottingham Road turn off,
Ooh.
and we are in it to win it 3 k's down the road.
Greg Koch is the owner of Stone Brewing Co.
Okay.
Co-owner.
He's got a massive
Co-founder.
beard, hey.
I think he had a big beard. And
'Cause the
if I
interview
stand to be corrected,
he had
he
gum
also
He had to pass his nipples.
himself and
Does
Sam
nipples get you?
from Sam Calagione from Dogfish.
Mm.
They came up and they invented
They did that Kelp beer.
they invented the IPA glass, the IPA drinking glass.
Shut up.
You know, with the curves and then the ribs at the bottom.
Yes.
They invented that.
Similar to what we're drinking. out
Similar
now,
to we've got
But
like
it's
a little
just-
baby version,
but it's
um,
lacking the ribs.
lacking the ribs.
So it's not ribbed for our pleasure.
It is not rib for our pleasure.
Yes!
Yes, you like that.
I'm the best!
You're happy you've got that. I knew you were working towards
Oh,
that. Are you happy? Are
I'm
you
so,
done?
like, you know what?
Can you retire now? You're done.
Like, my day is complete.
Your day was complete.
Like, I can now retire. Thank you very much.
Put your headphones back on. You arrogant bastard.
Does he? I think that's what got me. Maybe that's what he means by it. That you'll drink this and you'll become an arrogant bastard.
Delicious.
It is.
I don't think there's anything on the South African craft beer market like this.
Nothing like it.
I think it's also
Although-
7.2%. No one.
Insider info.
Yes. Ooh.
Cockpit Brewery.
Yes.
They've got something very similar to this.
Oh.
So I befriended a good man, Andre de Beer, there at Cockpit. He's out in the sticks too. Very, very lacquer.
Cullinan,
Cullinan, indeed.
where the big
Look at this guy.
some
Yes.
diamonds were discovered.
He has certain good beers like this that he brews seasonally.
I'm trying to think. I know exactly which one you're
You know
talking
which
about.
one I'm talking about.
It's a name of a plane, or it's got a plane name. It's like a Warbird, Thunderbird.
To be honest, all I remember is
And I
drinking
remember
this thing
having
and
it.
I'm going, Yo. And it was at the end of the night.
And do you know what? I've tasted that beer. I know exactly. It's
He's the one. This is the most similar. So this beer I'm drinking now is very similar to what Andre made, and he said
he's in a documentary, right?
He is indeed.
Ooh.
He's a very good man.
You know he's a craft brewery when he doesn't have a website. God damn it.
He is such a lacquer oak, though.
I'm not seeing anything here. You said they had a Black Widow, a Mustang. Anyway, it's one of those. So yeah, I mean, I must go visit him. I'm going to Joburg next week, so I must go visit some people. Roscoe, we've got a few minutes left. Ooh, the show's gone very quickly.
How long is the show going until? I thought it was normally till 2.
No, we said we'd have an hour show just because we've got 3 beers. We could stretch it to
So you
2.
don't want
but-
to. You don't want to.
No, I get
You're
tired.
over me.
Yeah, sure.
Sure, like a powwow, hey?
I'm over you like a drought.
I mean, come on, that joke was so dry. Oh! Tambourines everywhere.
Ratings are falling right now. I did want to, before we leave, I did want to talk about another thing which I've actually just finalized and something that you also did last year. Can you remember what it was?
No?
It was a good thing. You enjoyed it. You had fun.
What do you mean? What did I do? Like,
Well, you went somewhere.
I went somewhere and I did what? And I touched myself.
You touched something else.
Hop tour.
Up to look
Oh,
at you. Slackware.
like, oh my
Thinking,
word. What do
ladies.
I touch a lot of it. It's not just myself, it's something else. Hops.
It's the last time I invited. The ratings are just falling away. Troy, you were at number 2 last week. Now you're at 17.
What's going on here? Look at okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, Hop Tour 2018 is happening. We're going to George
Do it.
to visit the hop farms, which is awesome.
What do you want to Let's do it.
Roscoe did it last year, and he had a lot of fun. And we are doing it again this year. It's going to happen. I can confirm a date.
Give me a date.
February 22nd.
That's rude, eh?
That's 3 weeks away. Just over 3 weeks away. In fact, 1, 2,
So, Troy,
Roscoe.
just to help them out a little
7, 14,
It's
22. Yeah.
just because you going that date, you can book another date.
For sure.
Yes, you can.
But you won't have insider access.
like we
Like we do.
Oh my god! Like, oh wow!
So hashtag Beer Time is organising a tour. So if you are listening, and if you hashtag know me, then give me a call, give me a shout, drop me an email. We've only got space for 16 people, and I think that's what we had last year. And it's a vibe.
It is such
We
a vibe.
drive up on the Thursday morning. We go spend the whole day in George, walking around the hop farms, learning about the South African hop industry, because it is an industry, and what's been done or how it's been
You know what would be
cultivated,
interesting
harvested.
about this year?
We have an awesome braai in the evening, and it's a lot of fun. Boys and girls, anyone's invited.
You must do it because this year
Yeah.
is the first year that AB and Bev has taken over. So we'll know what they're doing differently.
Ooh. Look at
Just
you.
look at me, I'm just so wise.
You are ahead of the time.
I'm like, you know what? I've got so much of the stuff in my
Shit.
head. My mom says I'm full of shit.
I certainly hope your parents are listening. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, if you are listening, if you are fans of hashtag Beer Time and you want to do the hop tour, I can't give you a cost yet. I think we're going to keep it, as minimum as possible, where no one's making money. It's just, let's do this. Let's learn about beer. Let's spend some time around people who know some stuff about the craft beer industry, and it's going to be fun. This is my 3rd year that I've done it, so I'm looking forward to it. Roscoe, any parting words before? Well, we still got a little bit. We can still drink
man,
up
we can still drink the beer. Like, don't rush me. I mean, it's like
Let's
you
go for
got
lunch.
to treat it right.
Let's
You've
go for
got
lunch
to.
after this. I'll treat you good.
You treat me real good. No, that's cute, man. It's a really nice beer. This, I must admit, I'm glad we're ending off with it.
Shout out to the Tasting League if you're listening. Shout out to Greg and Cole. Shout out to Ross. We're going away for the weekend. The 3 of us. Yes, 3 of us. We're going away for the weekend.
3 people.
We're actually we made a Vit style. This is the Carthos Brewing Carthos Brewing home brewers, not company. Can you imagine? We made a Vit beer,
Yeah.
Vit base kind of beer, and then we added cherries and blueberries. We made like a paste, not a paste, but we let the blueberries and cherries sit in vodka, and then we added it to the beer. Secondary.
Okay, wait. So you made a cherry and blueberry, not just blueberry.
So we chopped the cherries up, we squashed the blueberries, we covered it with vodka, we let it sit for 24 hours,
Yes.
then we added it to our secondary fermentation. So we took the fermenting beer, we took it out of the first fermentation, we added it to a secondary fermentation. We do that so we take the yeast off the bottom, because the yeast has done its job. Then we put it into a secondary fermentation, we add the berries, that's another sugar source.
What, another just raw berries or the fermented berries?
The
mixture?
raw berries,
Yeah.
and then that kind of starts up another little bit of a fermentation, a little small one, and that also just sucks off a lot of the flavor from those cherries and blueberries. So I think tonight or tomorrow I'm going to go and transfer that into a keg, and then we're taking that away for the weekend, and that's just going to be our
That sounds awesome.
beer. So yeah, you have blueberries. You have
I've got a
Access.
blueberry farm.
I'll let you know how
You
it
must
turns
let
out.
me know because I'm already planning on how to do an experimental brew with
Can
the
we call the
blueberries.
beer Troy's Blueberry?
I'll call it Troy's Blue Balls. How about that?
Let's stick to blueberry.
It's
We
my
can-
brewery. I'll name it how I want.
You can just change the font so it looks like it says berry, but if you
says
see from
balls.
afar, it's like
Balls.
balls. Why is it
Troy likes balls.
berry? You could get away with it.
But seriously, my idea was to squash all the juices out like they do for cider, and then from there have whole berries as as like a dry hop.
Mm-hmm.
So my thought process was to first get the juice of the blueberries,
Mm-hmm.
put it in at the end of the boil,
Mm-hmm.
and let it ferment.
Mm-hmm.
And about 5 or 7 days later, put some raw, obviously sanitized blueberries in, and then let that just naturally let it go.
Can I
That
give you a
was my
tip?
idea.
I'm going to give you a little tip.
Give me the tips. Just the tip. I'm on fire!
You are the raisins are just shooting through the
I'm on
roof.
fire! Carry on.
Oh gosh.
Just the tip with Troy.
This is why I only see you once a month. It's just too much to take. I'm going to give you some advice and a tip. Okay. Now there's a trend towards fruity beers,
Mhm.
and we've you've seen the fine fish and you've seen certain beers, but that's artificial. What's going to start happening is people are going to start making beers and they're going to blend it with fruit juice. So it's still an alcoholic beverage, but it's going to be low in alcohol. Why? Because people are moving towards a more healthy lifestyle,
Okay.
and the fruits is a whole nother fruit flavor kind of thing. So I think it's a very young market in South Africa,
Yes.
and it's about to explode. So what you need to do is you need to make a sweet blueberry juice of sorts and add it 50-50 into a base beer, something not strong, nothing hoppy, nothing malty, just
Do you
like,
not put it
like a
in?
Weiss or a Wits
Yeah,
or
yeah.
even a pale ale,
See, I thought about making a blueberry
and you
pale ale.
mix it. So you can make it like a 6% Weiss beer, but then when you add the juice, it kind of just lowers it down to about 4%.
See, a Weiss, I would have wanted to have something sweeter.
Dude, a blueberry Weiss, or you call it a blue Weiss. Let me give you some advice.
I was just waiting for that. I was like, how can I bring that stupid word in? But I couldn't. Carry on.
I hate you.
That's the best.
So if anyone's listening and you are a brewer or you homebrew, I just get some advice there. That's the trend. That's what I foresee happening 2018, 2019, ladies and gentlemen, a movement towards, inverted commas,
At least it's recorded
Healthy-
now. You're the one
healthy
who said
beer.
it.
I finished my beer. It is 20 minutes past. It is time to say goodbye. Roscoe, would you like to say anything else before we leave?
Look forward to showing the Brewing the Republic to you guys, hopefully in May this year, 2018.
When is your brewery opening?
My personal brewery that I'm creating
What's it
in the
called?
Midlands is called Happy Days Brewery.
It's an awful name. Go.
It's a terrible name, but I'm
It's better than Roscoe.
It's better than Roscoe.
Better than Roscoe's. I think you need help with your marketing.
Thank the Pope. I didn't, because if it was called Roscoe's, I would have been the worst face to the brewery business. Anyway, it's called Happy Days Brewery. We've got different names like For the Wind, Vitbeer, Good Times APA, and Roscoe's Lacquer Lager. Based out in the Natal Midlands in Nottingham Road, we're gonna have a butchery.
The one thing is that you're doing things your way. So
and
you know what?
Exactly.
Fuck it.
Exactly.
Why not?
It's the best.
I'm sure your dad is so proud.
We've
of
got
you.
conversation pits, we've got a zip line, and we'll do some awesome stuff, and we've got butchery.
Are
And
we
we've
invited
got-
to the opening?
You are definitely invited to the opening. April 27th is when we hope to be open.
Better be open.
We did have a tornado on Saturday. Kind of blew a wall down.
I saw that.
It was emotional.
I love
That's nice that you lolled, not despair. But I got
it.
to
I
drink.
told again when you posted. It's not funny, but it is. We can laugh about
We
it.
can laugh about it now.
We can laugh about
The
it.
contract is not laughing.
No.
There's always one oak who's not laughing.
There's always one guy not laughing.
but we're not that guy.
Let's recap.
Yay.
We drank the Pizza Pale and Mary
It was good.
Folk Pale Ale from McKellar. We then went on to the Stone IPA
We can think about that one again.
from Stone Brewery in Berlin, and then we finished with the Arrogant Bastard
This
Ale.
was fantastic.
It was a 7.2% unclassified. Wasn't classified.
Classified, unclassified, declassified.
They said classified, but I'd say it's unclassified.
Classifiedly awesome.
Unknown kind of style of beer. I'd say it's a very bitter, multi-forward beer. Or it's bordering on an IPA kind of porter vibe. Sweetness, amber ale. It's kind of a mixture. It was delicious though.
Delightful.
I think we need to go have some food.
Let's have some food. It's the best.
So guys, thank you very much for joining us for the short show today. Thank you, Mr. Roscoe, for joining us. And apologies again for the technical issues which we had early on in the show. I think everything... Let me just go check. Hold on. No, you can just check.
It was my pleasure to entertain the
We're
listeners.
still on the green light, which means we're live. And yes, I'm still getting used to this. So, Roscoe, thank you very much.
Pleasure.
And to everyone listening, thank you very much for listening. And we will see you next week. What is next week? It is
It's February. It's February.
Ooh.
Oh, you want like a date February?
We have an international guest next week. His name is Michael Bublé. His name is not Michael Bublé. But we have an international guest next week. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. This is me signing out. Hashtag Beer Time.
We
T-Bone
love you long
Troy.
time.
Roscoe, thank you for joining us.
Love you long time.
See you guys. Ciao, ciao.
Yes! What a show. Fucking love that one.
Thanks for listening, guys and girls. Make sure to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Just search for hashtag Beer Time. That's hashtag Beer Time written out in full. Hope you enjoyed the show, and check you next time. Cheers.